right? We rep South, North, West, and Suburban, but in this community, in this space, we're together as young people.
I mean, it basically just comes down to them connecting with one another and validating an experience that is unique to them, but also connects to a larger community of young people and the struggle that young people are going through in their neighborhoods and their schools. So, yeah, and YCA is the spot. It's been the spot for years, and the Slam just continues that.
You know, and I think that the people are hungry to come into a space where their lives are valued, you know, where their stories are valued.
We doing it big out here, B. This shot town, B.
Who's ready to hit the floor?
We right to free our emotions. They cut you, they choke you, they hate you, they left. They left in the name of everything right, they ran. For a long time I wanted to be better than you, and let's not lie, I am. Because of who you are. Forever. My motto is
this year is a 4-day preliminary bout festival where we have the preliminary slam bouts that filter the teams into the final.
The way that Louder Than a Bomb is actually quite unique in terms of the other teen poetry slams that are happening around the country is that this is the only poetry slam of this scale where groups come as teams to the slam.
And this is what Louder Than a Bomb is about. It's definitely not about scores, it's about stories. And it's about young people who cross traditional borders and get to meet each other in this space, this safe space where they get to build. So thank y'all very much for doing your thing tonight and this whole weekend.
Everybody knows if they get away for 1 minute from the traditional school that the way people learn is off of the energy of each other. Every one of us.
You know, so this is the program, you know what I mean? Well, what kid's gonna want to come to a program that's about not doing something? You know what I mean? Like, why don't we do a program that's about doing something? Like actually creating something that's really looks at young people as human beings who have lives and stories, you know? And it shouldn't be a radical notion, but it is a radical notion. It's a radical notion because of the time and place that we live, you know? And it's also a radical notion that people will come together across color lines, across cultural lines, across geographical lines, and tell their stories to one another.
Good meeting people, whenever you can come away meeting people and learning from them and taking that and putting it into your poetry and your expression, it's always a good experience.
And I think that we're really on the cusp of a youth literary movement here in Chicago. And it's fortunate that YCA and Louder Than a Bomb is able to be part of that and help foster that community.
This is the best opportunity currently now that's full of vitality, life, all kinds of things where kids can feed off of each other, hear one another, and really support one another in their best creative expression. So you have kids here speaking the truth as they see it, speaking their experience. To me, this is learning at its absolute best.
Read, speak, write, and dance. We used what we wrote to make a story that the group of teenagers used to perform around Chicago Public Arts.
There are breakout sessions. You'll see people out on the street. I've seen a lot of people out on the street today because it's really nice out doing pieces. People in the cafeteria doing breakout pieces. You know, while the slam is really like the hub of the whole thing, it's really more of a poetry festival. The spokes are more like, you know, we have featured readers, and we have alternate open mics, and we have a coaches slam where we really are trying to focus it more on this is like a festival for all different kinds of poetry.
You know, it's kids gaining confidence in themselves 3 minutes at a time.
What is this in the air? Seems to be going around everywhere. A stranger named Ammonia, yeah, that's his name, came just to stop by, it proclaimed. A few days later, a girl named Anne, seems like Ammonia shook her hand.
But it's still true what they say, that no one wants to be a Jew at Christmas, or a beat in a rice bag, or a rock in a rose garden, or a black guy in a Leonard Skinner concert. Cause baby, sweet home Alabama ain't that sweet when you're not letting them pour me like Kool-Aid touch the back of your throat.
I felt the grasp of their hand holding from communities of culture, labor, and unity, and I kept walking. The hills up and around, stared at the ground, and my history ran into my eyes, made my emotions rise, made my mind and heart cry from joy. until my sight was blurred and the hills were smeared by past of years of wandering, struggling, praying, learning, loving, sharing, caring, yearning for something.
But that's not all I can be. He tends to emphasize the curve of my chocolate hips, the poutiness of my lips, but he don't want me because I'm black. He wants me because I'm sexy. People need to ease up
my fro. Yes,
I know
of my ancestors, and I understand the pain, but why are we still letting it hurt? It happened.
Days go by, and the days of the fears of the whispers in my ears telling me everything will be alright. Yet days turn to nights and nights turn to years, and I stop to think, how did I end up here?
Why must you judge me when you don't even know me? Why must you say things that hurt me? But you will pretty soon cross this line, and you'll figure out how you act it from time to time. But if you don't do me, I will and shall stay strong. But if you do got something else to say, come stand in my face, because I'll show you something. And you can tell your friend what I did, so I suggest you think about it again.
Can you live it? Discovered sex through an attraction to boys. Discovered himself through theater, through acting, through fantasy. And it was here that he discovered the life they took away from him. If I could, then I would tell him to hug memories tighter than jean belt tips. And I would tell him that oppression is less present, so as to keep him resting peacefully. If I could, then I would tell him. If I could, then I would tell him. If I could tell him, then I would say, Matthew, I remember. And as long as I remember, you will never be dead.
You know, one of the things that I think that we have to fight for in this society in particular is the notion that every human life is the equivalent of every other human life. That is, every human life has